Greetings, M squared here, and today we're going to solve literal equations, but these ones are actual formulas in real life. So I wanted to just talk a minute about what a subscript means. You'll see how we say this in math is B sub 1 and B sub 2. Subscripts don't tell you to do anything mathematically, like an exponent tells you to multiply it by itself, an exponent of 2. Subscripts are just talking about a particular one. So, for example, this is the formula for how to find the area of a trapezoid. And in a trapezoid, you might remember what a trapezoid looks like. It looks like that. The two bases are different lengths. So the B sub 1 stands for this particular base, and the B sub 2 stands for this particular base. So subscripts tell us which one. It's like a specific one. They're still both bases, but there's two bases. So I need to tell you, hey, first it's base 1, then it's base 2. So just keep that in mind. It's a subscript. So when we rewrite this, we need to know that B1 and B2 sub 2 aren't the same, so we cannot combine them. So I'm supposed to solve for the second base sub 2. So I notice that I've got parentheses, and the reason I've got parentheses is because it's being multiplied. So I need to get rid of this. Well, how I get rid of a half is to multiply both sides by 2. So I go and multiply both sides by 2. Here's what I get. So now the 1/2 cancels out. That's why I did it. Now I need to get rid of the h. So I'm going to divide both sides by h. Okay, the reason I did that is to cancel it out. So now I have 2a over h equals b sub 1 plus b sub 2. There's no reason to have parentheses anymore because I got rid of everything that was being multiplied by it. So now what I need to do is just subtract. I need to get this one alone, so I'm just going to subtract b sub 1 from both sides. And here's my answer, because that gets me a 0. So b sub 2 equals 2 times the area divided by the height. Subtract the first base. All right. Here's another formula. I'm supposed to solve for m. It's pretty basic because there's only one thing happening to m, right? V usually stands for volume. Velocity depends on if you're in physics or geometry. This is probably velocity, mass, density. I can't remember what this one stands for. But anyway, I'm going to get rid of the v by multiplying both sides by it. And then I get m equals d times v. All right. Notice the subscripts. We need to get v sub 2 alone. The only thing that's preventing us from getting it alone is this p sub 2. So I'm going to divide by p sub 2. And so v sub 2 is going to equal to p sub 1 times, v sub 1 divided by p sub 2. And that is how that one goes. Let me erase my little mistake, because it'll make it look a little bit better. All right. This is a formula for Celsius and Fahrenheit. So in the United States, we use Fahrenheit, but in most other places in the world, they use Celsius. So if you were somewhere else and you knew the temperature in Fahrenheit, you could subtract 32 and multiply by 5/9 and you'd find the Celsius conversion. It's a nice little formula, but we need to solve Fahrenheit. So let's say you were somewhere else and you saw the Celsius degrees. Well, then you can change it. So the first thing we want to do is get rid of whatever's being multiplied. How do I get rid of 5/9? Well, I multiply by the reciprocal, because if I multiply by 9, it gets rid of that. If I divide by 5, it gets rid of that. So really, I'm just multiplying by 9/5. So 9/5 Celsius is going to equal Fahrenheit minus 32. Again, there's no need for those parentheses anymore because the thing that was being multiplied is gone. So now I'm just going to add 32 to both sides. So Fahrenheit is equal to 9/5 whatever the Celsius temperature is, plus 32. So if you take what it is, 9/5 is almost 2, right? So if you multiplied by 2 and added 32, it's kind of a really bad estimate, but it's closer than the other. Anyway, that's how you would do that. This is volume of a cone, I think. So R stands for radius, H stands for height of the cone, V stands for volume. I need to solve for R. Notice it's R squared. You've got to know the opposite of squaring is square rooting, so that's important. Here we go. First I'm going to get rid of the 1/3 by multiplying both sides by 3. So 3 times the volume equals pi R squared H. I need to get rid of the pi and the h because they're being multiplied. The only way to get rid of multiplication is division, so I'm going to do that. Now I have r squared equals 3v over pi h. So what did we say? How do we get rid of a squared? We square root it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this. Square root, square root. Square root undoes it. So the square root of r squared is r. So r equals the square root of 3v over pi h. And that is our answer. And we're not going to worry about radicals in the denominator on this one. I'll tell you about that later. Okay, this is a formula for interest. Interest equals principal times rate times time. So if you put some money in the bank, that kind of interest. I'm solving for time. So if I kept $3,000 in the bank at 3% interest, annual interest rate for 20 years, what interest would I get? That's kind of the formula. But I need to solve for t. Since it's being multiplied by PR, I'm just going to divide by PR. And I get t equals the interest divided by the principal times the rate. Okay, that's some formulas. So you'll have fun with that once you get to that delta math. And again, remember to get to the dividing, you're going to hit that slash. The square root button will be there for you to click on, but if you needed an exponent or a subscript, I know the exponent is this, and maybe they don't have you do the subscript. I'm trying to remember, but you'll probably figure it out. All right, good luck with that. I'm Squared, signing out.